Hi everyone, today in this video lesson we'll be talking about Python fundamentals. Now Python character set, just like in English language, we have some alphabets, we have numbers, we have some symbols. Same in Python also we have some characters. Now what is a character? A character is a set of valid characters that a language can recognize. Say if you write letter A, so English language it recognizes that it is letter A. Same is the case in Python. These characters or numbers are used in order to recognize as a language. A character represents any digit, number, or any other symbol. So Python, in Python, a character represents it can be any digit. A character can be any digit. It can be a letter or it can be a symbol. Python supports Unicode encoding standard. Now Python has the following character set. Letters, we have small letter A to Z and capital letter A to Z. Digits, we have 0 to 9, and we have special symbols like space, addition, subtraction, asterisk, division, and we have many symbols. We have at the rate symbol, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and we have underscore. White spaces, we have blank space, tab, carriage, return, new line, form fit. Other characters, Python can process all ASCII and Unicode characters as a part of data or literals. Tokens, in a passage of text, individual words and punctuation marks are called tokens or lexical units. So if you write the word tokens, T-O-K-E-N-S, tokens, it is a word, so this can be considered as a token. Or if I write H-E-L-L-O, hello, so this can be considered as a token here. Or any punctuation mark or any digit or number can be considered as a token. Even the space, white spaces, is considered as a token here. The smallest individual unit in a program is known as token or lexical unit. Now Python has the following tokens: keywords, identifier, literals, operator, and punctuators. Now let me show you what is actually a token. What is actually a token? Now if I write letter A, now it is having a smallest single word A, so this is also a token. So if I write a digit 12, so this is the smallest digit we have, so this is also a token. So if I write a word, say hello, this is also a token. So if I write good morning, good, white spaces is there, and morning, this is also a token. So if I write here any punctuation mark, say this is exclamation mark, this is also a token. Now if you observe here, we have a white spaces over here. All right, we have a white spaces over here in between good and morning. This white spaces is nothing but a token. All right, this white spaces is also nothing but a token. And in good morning we have two words, one is good and one is morning. The word this morning, right, this morning is nothing but a one token. It is also one token. And this good is also another, we can say we have token, it is also another token. So altogether good morning is, we can say this as a token, but the individual word like good is a token and individual word like morning is a token. And we have white space, this is also a token. Same is the case if I write letter A. This letter A is the smallest individual word, so it is a token. This number 12, it is a digit, it is a token. This the word hello, it is also a token. And we can consider this punctuation mark is also a token here. So these are all token. So token is nothing but the smallest programming unit that we can consider. The smallest individual unit in a program is known as a token, or we call it this also as a lexical unit. Tokens or lexical unit. Now Python has the following tokens: keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. Now what is this keyword? Now keywords are the words that convey special meaning to a language, compiler, or interpreter. Now these are reserved for special purpose and must not be used as normal identifier names. Now Python programming language contains the following keywords. Here we have total 33 keywords in Python. Now in this picture you can see some of the keywords like false, none, true, and, as, break. We have if, we have in, we have is, lambda, non-local, not, or, else, elif, def, def. Finally, these are some of the keywords. Now these keywords are reserved words. We cannot use them as a variable. If we use them as an identifier or variable, what will happen? It will give us a error here. Say for example here, if I write capital false, if I write here capital false, see here it is changing the color. False is equal to 5. Now what is this 5? 5 is a value and false is nothing but a variable which is referring to a value 5. Now this false, if you observe here, this false is nothing but a reserved keyword. All right, this false is nothing but a reserved keyword. It is nothing but a reserved. This false is nothing but a reserved keyword, so we cannot use false as an identifier or variable name which is referring to a value. If we use these reserved keywords as a reference to a value, it will give us a error. So it will give us an error. Just check. If I write false is equal to 5 and if I press enter, it is giving us an error. Cannot assign to false. Why? Because false is a reserved keyword. And if I write if is equal to 6, again this if is a reserved keyword, so we cannot write if as a variable name to refer value 6. It will give us invalid syntax. Now if I write a is equal to 6, it is not giving us any error. Why? Because letter A is not a reserved keyword, so we cannot use any reserved keyword for identifier or for referring to a value, but we can use non-reserved keywords. So always remember what are the reserved keywords so that you will not get error while assigning a value. This is nothing but a reserved keywords here. Identifier. What is this identifier? Identifier are the building blocks of program and are used as general terminology for name given to different parts of a program. Now identifier have some rules of forming which are specified below. An identifier is an arbitrary long sequence of letter and digits, so it can be a combination of letter and digits. It can be a very long character. The first character must be a letter. So if you're naming an identifier, the first character must be a letter, or the underscore count underscore symbol count as a letter. Upper and lower case are different. All characters are significant, so we can use upper and lower case, say a small letter A or capital A. All characters are significant. The digits 0 to 9 can be part of an identifier except for the first character, so you cannot use digits as the first character as an identifier while naming an identifier. It can be a part of an identifier, but it should never be the first character. It can be a second character or third character. Identifiers are limited unlimited in length and is case sensitive. So identifier, we can write as much length as you want. Naming, you can give as much length as you, it is unlimited, and also it is case sensitive. Case sensitive means if it is positive, it is a small letter or big letter. This also matters. Small letter and big letter also matters in identifier. And identifier must not be a keyword of Python. So you cannot use keyword as an identifier in Python, otherwise it will give us an error. An identifier cannot contain any special character, so you cannot use any special character like plus symbol, asterisk symbol, or any other symbol we have in Python, except for underscore. We can use only underscore. So underscore is the only symbol we can use as a special character in identifier. Let's take an example here. So in identifier, this a is an identifier. If I write a is equal to 5, now a is nothing but a letter. We can use a letter in naming the identifier. So what is this a? This a is nothing but an identifier. All right, this a is nothing but an identifier. Now why do we use this identifier? We use this identifier to refer a value. Say a is equal to 5. Here I'm referring a to value 5. So what is happening here? This is, say suppose value is 5. I'm giving value identifier name a. Now a is referring to a value 5 here. Now I cannot use digit in the beginning. Suppose if I write 1 12 a is equal to 5. Now I'm using digit in the beginning. What will happen if I use digit in a beginning? It will give us invalid syntax. Why? Because we cannot use digit in the beginning, but it can be a part of an identifier. How? Say suppose I'm writing a. We can use a is a letter, and we can use 12 is equal to 5. Now here in Python rule, it is said that digits can be part of an identifier, but it cannot be a first character. See here observe here in 12a, 12 is the first character. That's why it is giving us a error. But here 12 is a second character and letter a is the first character, so it can be part of a character here. It is not giving us any error here. Now we can use underscore symbol in the beginning. Say underscore 12 and is equal to 5. It will not give us error. So underscore is only the special symbol which can be used as an identifier. So if you use any other symbol, say a person e is equal to 5. Now this person is nothing but a special symbol, but in identifier we cannot use any special symbol except for this underscore, so it will give us error because we cannot use this operator symbol except for this identifier. Now we cannot use white spaces also for naming an identifier. Say a space e is equal to 5. It will give us an error. Why? Because we cannot use white spaces as an identifier. So what are the things we can use as an identifier? We can use a letter in the beginning. We can use a combination of letter and digits, but letter should come first. We can also use a special symbol underscore as an identifier. So no error here up till now. Let me close this again and let me write it down. Now again, we cannot use reserved keyword as an identifier. So capital FALS if false is equal to 5. So we cannot use it. Is an invalid identifier. Why? Because false is a reserved keyword. Now Python is case sensitive in naming an identifier. So I'm writing false is capital F. Capital F false is nothing but a reserved keyword, but small letter FALS if false is not a reserved keyword, so it is case sensitive. So I can use a small letter FALS if false as an identifier. So it is also a case sensitive. If I write small capital to true is equal to 5, it will give us error. Because why? Capital to TRUE is nothing but a reserved keyword, but if I write TRUE small letter, so since it is case sensitive, it will not give us error here. So remember, we can use letter as an identifier. We can use a combination of letter and number as an identifier, but if you're using letter and number as an identifier, remember that letter should come first and number will be in the second part. We cannot use digits in the beginning for naming an identifier. We can use underscore as an identifier. We can use unreserved keywords as an identifier. Now Python is a case sensitive. That means what it means, if writing capital letter FALSE, it is a reserved keyword, but if I write small letter FALS if false, it is not a reserved keyword, so it is case sensitive. So if suppose if I write capital I if is equal to 5, it is not giving us any error because it is not a reserved keyword. But if I write small letter if is equal to 5, it will give us an error. Why? Because it is a reserved keyword. So naming an identifier can be unlimited length. You can give unlimited length. Say hello underscore good morning is equal to, you are right, good morning. It will not give us any error here because here I'm using underscore. We cannot use white spaces also as an identifier. White spaces, if you give, it will give us an error. So this is about identifier and their rules. Here good morning is an identifier, capital IF is an identifier, small letter TRUE true is an identifier, underscore A is identifier, A12 is an identifier, and letter A is nothing but an identifier. So let's see what are the valid identifiers here. Now examples of valid identifier. Here capital my small letter file, my file is an valid identifier. Capital my file is also a valid identifier. Underscore chk is also a valid identifier. Why? Because underscore can be considered as an is only the special symbol which we can use as an identifier. Date, here if you observe here, I'm not giving any space. 2 underscore 9 underscore to 2020, this is also a valid identifier. So these are all valid identifiers. So what are invalid identifiers? Let us check what is invalid identifiers. Examples of invalid identifiers: data hyphen record now contains special characters hyphen. We cannot use hyphen. Hyphen is a special symbol. That is why it is giving us error. That's why it is an invalid identifier. 29 CLCT, it is also an invalid identifier. Why? Because it is starting with a digit. Break is also invalid identifier. Why? Because it is a reserved keyword. My.file, it is also invalid identifier. Why? Because it contains special characters dot. So we cannot use special character except for the underscore. We can use underscore as an identifier. So this is nothing but rules of identifier.